Just a brief word to all of the empaths out there. Be very conscious when you move in society because you are unconsciously assimilating negative external emotional energies. At the same time, you're integrating it into your reality, you're incorporating it in your heart, and you're implementing it in your life. You're not even realizing you're doing it. Ever the empath's dilemma to assimilate energies instead of assess them as a conscientious observer, but you're actually becoming an unconscious participant and contributor because they're catching you off guard. This is psychic ambush and psychic sabotage. But let us not forget, brothers and sisters, it isn't the devil gathering information for the enemy and all that nonsense. There's only source. You know, I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Do they not refer to Satan as the prince of darkness? Who do you believe to be the king? Not saying that God is a man because God is not a man. Source. There is no name. They just gave it a name because they don't know what to call it. How can you call something that you don't even know what it is? Because you haven't even been around long enough to realize what that thing is. So they give it a name to soften it and make it more approachable and allow them to understand something on their level. That's what science does. They pretend to be the authority of things when they don't know a damn thing at all. How could they? The oldest science is astronomy. 4,000 years. If you extrapolate that number in juxtaposition to the age of the earth, you see the monumentally unfathomable discrepancies going on here. It's a joke. How could you have a set system that is rigid with no fluidity or flexibility that pontificates these didactic edification ceremonies to us as if they're God themselves? How could you do that? Absolutely not. They're not going to tell you what's going on here. I do the best that I can to give so much information out at any given point. But the empath's dilemma, they don't realize they have a hypersensitivity to negativity. Not just from humans, from buildings, from objects, from animals, from the elements. Because evil is God. Source is good. Light, dark, whatever name you want to say. I've said it before. In order to become a teacher of the light, you must first have been a student of the darkness. Why? Two sides of the same coin. You cannot have one without the other. There's no spiritual warfare going on. There's no enemy out there. That's what they want you to think. Duality, polarization. You're the chosen one. No, you're not. There's no such thing as the chosen one. Every form of creation are the chosen of Source, not just human beings, because let us not forget, brothers and sisters of the human species, that those animals have been here before you. Please don't forget that. Keep reminding yourself that great white sharks have been roaming the open oceans as deep-sea pelagic creatures for billions and billions of years, long before any bipedal anthropomorphic hominoid, Homo habilis, ever walked the face of this earth. That's not to say that extraterrestrials haven't visited here. Of course they have. You're not going to see that in history books because it is just that. His story. Just like television. Tell a vision. I hope you're catching on. Anyway, whenever you walk out into society, you're picking up, you're accumulating, you're absorbing this negative external, unconscious collective out there. This is what I refer to as demonic unconsciousness that is broadcast from their satanic matrix, operated by the reptilians, draconians. They bathe the environment they saturate the environment. That's what these empaths are picking up, such as myself. Whenever you find yourself in large crowds, you have like a nervous breakdown because it's too much of an energetic overload. Consider yourself an 8-ounce glass absorbing 400 million ounces of fluid at one shot. Of course, that glass is going to collapse and burst. That's exactly what happens. You have to learn to assess energies, not assimilate them. How do you do that? Be conscious of the fact that when you go out, when you venture outside, you're going to be subjected to some pretty harsh environments. And by that I mean vibrational environments, because each person is a carrier, a cell of a specific vibrational field of energy, whatever they're plugged into. And they're transmitting, and they're broadcasting, and they're receiving. And since energy is fluid, it is blending with yours if you allow it. If you allow it. Now, this is where you get into the part where you assess people. You don't judge them. You assess the quality, content, and character of an individual's energies, frequencies, and vibrations. And that's what you do. You don't judge, because you're only judging yourself. That's all you can do, is judge yourself for what you've done in this life. But be very conscious and consciously aware of the fact that even though people look good and they're good looking and they might be attractive and pretty, that's some of the most evil, filth, and disgusting energy on the planet. Because energy never lies. And it never will. But people always do.